It is your girl, Kadlac. Yes, I'm Kadlac Dixon. I'm the Drama Life Prison Wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice, hoping to see justice before all face to Blake. Yes, it's your girl, Kadlac. Coming through today is November the 10th, 2024. I finally got out to record my video. Today I did go to Visitation, right? So I know the last time I told y'all Visitation video, which it was right after the Visitation, right after the hurricane that came through, like so a couple of weeks to, it's been a month or so now. Gosh, I've lost so much track of time because time is moving so fast that so swiftly that you just don't even know what time anything happened. Everything's crammed together. But I never really finished that story. So I'm going to finish that up real quick and then I'm going to start today's Visitation review. So I'll link the first part in the description box. But it had took like hours to get in. I had got to Visitation about 10:30. No, 9:30. I'm so sorry. 9:30, and they were doing count by like 11:20. If you did make it in before count, then you could get caught in 2 hours waiting to see your loved one. And I had already waited from 9:30, so really I didn't see him till about 1:20 ish, and I got there at 9:30. And Visitation ends at 3. So literally all we were able to do was get a couple snacks and then warm them up, eat, and say goodbye. That was it. And they closed Visitation as soon as we went outside on the patio to sit down and eat. They were saying, "Oh, Visitation is closed." There was nowhere to sit. They gathered all them people. It was so many people there. They gathered all them people in there and then closed the outside. So a guard walked past and he was like, "I guess everybody gonna sit on the floor there." Like, and I was like, I know he meant it as a joke because he was like, just find a spot anywhere if you had to sit on the floor. But the thing was, it's funny because it's not you, right? It's other people that are, spending time with their loved ones. So that just stood out to me. But before that, and the reason that I got caught in count and was there that early, and it always happens at me. Remember, I used to tell y'all it felt like I was just cursed. Like, just run me the short end of the stick. Just get to me. Because the line completely stops at me. The person in front of me. Now, get this part. The person in front of me got their visitor, and the person behind me got their visitor. It was me, and then people that came further behind me that got stuck in count. I'm like, of course it's me. But what happened? It was a crazy thing. A lady had came to visit, and they, since 2020, they started this thing where you have to sign up for visitation, like schedule visitation. Pre 2020, you did not have to schedule visitation. You could just, show up to visitation, which was better because you don't really know how your life's going to turn out. And sometimes you're free. Let's say they gave me the day off and I wanted to go see my loved one. I can't because I didn't previously schedule the visitation. And for me, visitation is on tomorrow. That's crazy. Visitation was on Sunday. They have it on Saturday, Sunday, right? So you just left visitation. But by Monday, they open the visiting scheduling up until Wednesday at 5 p.m. sharp. If you in the middle of scheduling a visitation and it hasn't completed and gave you that little notification, you can't visit that week. So for me, just coming off of visitation, it's not to the forefront of my mind that, oh, it's Monday. I need to, besides getting ready for work and your endless to do list, I need to schedule a visitation. It's very easy to skip your mind. So for that, I do recommend that prison wives use your calendar on your phone, text yourself or something. I don't know if all states still do this, but Florida, you have to schedule visitation. You just can't visit. So this is where this issue comes in because there's a lady that had just got approved. She scheduled her visit. She scheduled through classification, which usually go online. But I'm gonna tell you why she scheduled through classification. And she gets there, all the way there to visitation, and they're telling her they don't see her um, slot that she signed up for visitation. And she's like, I know you kidding me. I know you kidding me because I come this far and you're going to turn me away because of this. And I signed up through his classification officer. I called and I checked back and they kept saying, yes, I'm clear to come. I'm clear to come. That's when I decided to come. Do you know where the lady was coming from? And they were pulling this, saying that she could not come into visitation. I've traveled from Central Florida to Panhandle, and I've had to turn around and leave. Not for the same reason, but I know that hurt. This lady, I know she came from London. London. And they were not going to let her in because of they couldn't find the schedule confirmation. She was approved visitor, everything. So she's about to cry because she's like, my ride, literally, because they're like, just call somebody. Can you give us the confirmation to the email? Which you know is hard to find that. Anybody that has been trying to find those emails, it doesn't just pop up. It's hard to find it. And then when you're nervous because they're telling you you can't see your loved one, you really can't find it because you're frantic. So they're like, that day they were doing the most. Everybody was having to go back and get these things, which they already have a list printed out. It is so much. It just feels like they just do the most because they can. Just because they can. And I really think they want to detour so much visiting. But if you want to detour so much visiting, how about stop locking up so many people? Side note. So she says that her ride, she left her phone because you can't take it in there. Like, that's a felony. You can't take your phone in there. Even if you accidentally, you can't do that. You once you pass them gates and go in there with the phone, that's it for you. So she left her phone in the car with her ride that dropped her off, and they're thinking she's finna visit all day. I felt my heart drop for this lady. I was praying for this lady. I was like, even if and that's why I was irritated about um getting caught in count, but I always knew that, most likely I can redo the visitation and come back the next day, which I did, and it was much better. But for her, oh my gosh. So they tried to talk to her and they was, no, we're not gonna let you in. No, I'm sorry, we don't have the confirmation. And she's like literally about to cry. And I'm finna cry for her. Like, this is too much. That's crazy. That far, like, y'all can't. She booked her plane tickets. She was like, this is pounds. I paid pounds. I didn't pay dollars. I didn't. She said, I ain't pay US dollars. I paid pounds to get here. And y'all telling me I can't go in? Like, are you kidding me? Oh my God. I would have been so hurt if they didn't let that lady in. But later, they end up, I don't even know what happened. Did did she go in before me? She got in after me, so I didn't know what was happening. So the line was taking forever, and they finally moved. They let the girl in front of me in. She had her loved one. I get on the inside. I see she has her loved one, and then they could have caught Marcello, but they usually call them. Once you check in, the officer that checks you in is also calling for them. This is what happened. This is how you know this is it's cuz it's me, right? So I get inside, I go through the checks. Me and Princess, we go through the checks. They have did I take Princess that day? Yeah, cuz I couldn't have dared. Did I? I don't remember which one I took. My grandson or my granddaughter. My grandson's infant, so that's. But then my granddaughter be all over the place. I had one of them kids, girl, one of them jits I had, and it's a lot. Just standing there, hours upon hours, all that. I think it was Princess that was with me. So I was so irritated once I got in. But hold on, I was talking about the lady. I lost my train of thought. But the person in front of me got in. The person behind me got in. And oh, that's where I was saying it. The reason is because when it got to me, I thought they already called him. And they were like, oh, the printer just died. We can't print out the form. They print out a paper with Marcello, his DC number, his picture, his visitors that are there for that day, their picture, their visitor number, all of that gets printed out on a sheet. You bring it in and take it to the officer that is over visitation for the day. And the printer shut down at that moment. And they said they didn't print his paper, which means they did not call him. And there's this super sweet guard. She is like an angel. God bless her. She has the sweetest soul. The sweetest soul. God bless her. And she's like, hold on, hurry up and give me the information so we can hand key this in. She was really trying to get Marcello down there before count. But then they said, oh, we're in count. And I'm like, figures. And then that day, we thinking they were counting when we went in. They had to recount. They had recounted, I think, twice. So count was extra long. And then they finally brought him out, and visitation was like over. But the lady, they finally let her in behind me. I don't know why this keeps beeping. I hate when that does that because it really just destroys the quality of my video. But it won't cut off. But the lady gets in behind me. What's crazy? This the crazy part. They were doing all that with her at the gate. Her visitor had already been down there. Remember when I got in, they were at count, so nobody can move between count. They already had her visitor in the visitation area while they were holding up everything with her. He was already down there. I'm like, y'all could have been just let her in. So that was that crazy time. Whew. Today was some old craziness. I don't even know. They doing too much. You know what? When they started doing this, I used to visit Marcello at a place called Lake Correctional Institution. When they started doing the most like this, they were doing way too much. That's when I was like, maybe I should back off visiting. Like, it's crazy that he's close and you want to cherish it because you don't know how long he's going to be that close to home, right? But they play so much over your time. And for me, this is my only free time. These are my days off, right? My only days off. And I want to spend it with my husband, but I'm spending it playing, not really even with my husband. And you got to go through so much just to have that little bit of time. And then when you're done with that, you spent your whole day playing with them to see your loved one. It's back to work. So it kind of makes you like, dang, you really want to see them, but God dog it. Like, And then you go back to work tired. Like literally, I shouldn't be standing in a long, 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 long line on the days that I'm supposed to be resting my back and my feet and my hands. Like that's crazy. But those are the things that we do when we're visiting our loved ones in prison. Okay, so today's craziness. Now, this was a 3-day visitation week because of the holiday tomorrow, Veterans Day. So they are visiting on tomorrow as well. So I signed up for all the days because I didn't know how it was going to work, what days I was going to go, what days I wasn't, whatever. So I worked last night, got off. It's after midnight. By the time I get home, it's a good almost 1 in the morning. My daughter, she has to be to work by 5, so I'm helping her with the kids. So I get off now. I come in the door at 1, but I ain't sleep by that time. So a good 4 a.m. I'm up with my grandson, tired, like literally tired. But I'm trying to hold him because he's crying or whatever while she's trying to get ready. So she gets ready, she leaves, drops him off. I go back to sleep, right? Because he was going to visitation with me, but I know if I kept him, he was not going to go to sleep. So I was going to get 0, 0, 0 sleep. So went on and she dropped him off and I picked him back up. So finally I get up this morning. It is about 8 a.m. Because you break your sleep, when you break your sleep, I found that you tend to sleep longer. Like, I don't know if that's just me, but I sleep longer when my sleep is interrupted. Just like when I used to work overnight and people would call me like every 5 minutes, someone called me, "Oh, I ain't trying to interrupt you, but I'm going to wake you up out your sleep." And I used to tell them, "Look, I don't get up and call you at 3 a.m. and expect you to get up. So why, if you know I work overnight, would you call me during the middle of the day?" This is so aggravating. It will not stop beeping like that. So I get up at 8 a.m. I am hurting my whole body. I'm not even playing with you. Every muscle that I have is tight and just in so much pain. So much pain. I am hurting so much because y'all already know all the issues I go through trying to work disabled. But I do work because I ain't got nothing else that pays those bills. Oh, gosh. So I'm in so much pain, hurting, hurting, hurting. And I have to ease myself out the bed. I cannot get out the bed too fast because I will pull my back. And my pulled back, I have to work on a pulled back for, it could be days to weeks. Then I get in the shower. I cannot just shower. I got to barely move in the shower. If I lift my arm up too high to try to wash my back or wash my, I've pulled my back and neck muscles, and I have to deal with a pulled back for like days and weeks, like I said. So I have to barely move, stand under hot water in the shower, and slowly try to move my body. It's times I go to wash my feet, I have pulled my back. I'm like, oh my God, I can't even wash my feet. I can't even, I be hurting so bad. Like, you don't even understand. You really don't even understand. But I'm still grateful that I can still walk and I can still move. But it is very painful, and it's very painful to still have to work. So after that, I get ready slowly. Visitation, y'all know I'm still trying to get into the swing of it because you got to have a routine when you're visiting often. Like usually, like when they're up the road, and you visit like maybe once a month, you take that whole weekend getting yourself together and ready, and you look and fly or whatever. But when you're visiting every week, you don't have those days ahead of visitation every single week to get ready like that. Like, honestly, you don't, because, like, who really has all that time like that? You know? So I don't have the right clothes. You have to have a certain type of bra. Make sure your bra ain't going off in the metal detector. You got to make sure your clothes ain't too tight. You got to make sure it's not cut in the wrong way. You can't. It can't hug you in the wrong way. It can't be. It is so many stipulations, and I already don't really have a wardrobe. Y'all know, y'all see me record my videos, like literally I be having the same pieces of clothing because I'm not even a materialistic person like that. But I wear the same pieces of clothing in almost every video. Like y'all see it, I have the same handful of shirts. And then most times I'm wearing my freaking uniform that I call my checkered skin because I wear that more than anything else because I'm on my way to work all the time, it seems like. So I finally get some stuff ready. I go to pick up the baby. Oh, wait, I forgot to get money out for visitation. So I have to stop by the store. I'm like, I can't go get the baby first because I don't want to take the baby in the store. So I got to stop by the store, get cash back. Then I got to go pick him up and I'm ready to hit the road. And then money's like, because I just talked to her and I was like, you got everything for him? His little clear diaper bag. You got his unopened milk because you cannot take them in with formula that any type of milk that's already open. It has to be sealed, factory sealed before it can come in. So we have to find cans of milk that he hasn't used. So she'll use her milk that he haven't opened, but once it's open once, that milk can't come back into the facility. So she's like, "Oh, I tried to text you back. He doesn't. My where he's at, they don't have the milk that is unopened. So you got to go back to the house and get it." I'm like, so as hard as I don't know what to try to get out the door, and you're trying to rush to not get caught in count. Because count, you already know that's that waiting hours to visit, just to visit yourself or the other visitors in line. And okay, so Marcello calls and he's like, oh, because of the change, they have pushed count back. So count now is at about 12:20. And I'm like, oh, great thing. So now I had already prayed for provision, for the anointing of ease. So that because I already know it's like a rat race and every person visiting their loved ones trying to beat the next person. Like it's crazy that we have to go through this, but this is what we have to go through. So I get on the highway, I get there, and I'm like, oh, that's good. So now I don't have to rush. And if count is pushed back, everybody should already be in count. I mean, should be already in. Like visitors tend to come early, so they should already be in. But I guess there were still people coming in late, and it was still coming close to this new count time at 12:20. And I'm like, okay, so if it takes 2 hours to count, at this point, if I get caught in count, I might as well go home. In which I'm glad I didn't show up yesterday because that would be the time I was planning on coming after count was done, but not knowing that it was an hour later, I still would have got caught in count. So I would have went over there for nothing, right? So I'm so glad that God let me not to go that day. I said, let me let it go. And what I did was I did my review video and my drawing and review video instead, right? I could put that one in the description box as well. Reviewing Diamond Royal, New Breed, and Ringo TV. That whole crazy thing going on between them. But I could put that in the description box, and that was a project Reach the World of Miss Diamond Royal Ministries. Okay. Sorry, hold on 1 second. Oh, I hope it got sound because sometimes when I pause it like that, it doesn't come back with sound. So I did that instead of going down there. You want to see your loved one, but you're like, you don't want to waste your time, right? And it hurt. I hate that I'm saying it like it's a waste of time to see your loved one, but it's not. It's just they waste your time, right? So I get there and there's a freaking line. I get there about 11:20, still a line. I'm like, I know I'm not still finna get caught. And as I'm trying to come into the facility, when I come on the grounds, I'm already trying to see ahead to see if there's a line of people. So, which I know y'all probably like, how in the world is you driving? You legally blind. I still, every so often they actually revoke my license, and I have to go to the eye doctor, and the eye doctor has to write off that my depth of field is far enough to be able, distance to be able to drive. I do have, I'm legally blind in both eyes, but I do have one eye that can be corrected through contact. They cannot get my eye completely 2020. So I'm not 2020, but I have a decent vision in one eye. So that's how I'm still able to drive. And when they get to the point where they feel like my vision is not good enough to drive, then my whole license will be revoked. It will be taken from me. But grace to God, I'm still driving. As long as I have my contact. Now, when my contact breaks or I lose that joker, I'm out of commission. I can't get to work. I can't get to this place. I can't get to. It's a done deal. I'm out of commission until they produce my special made contact that takes sometimes months to get. Uh, and I'm down to my last one, which means I really, and now that I'm talking on this, oh God forbid, but I need more contacts, but they're so expensive. But whenever I get the money, which is when, because we ain't never got enough money, I need to order another one. And God forbid I'm next telling y'all my contact broke and I'm crying and I'm out of commission. So, anyways, I'm trying to see if it's a long line. So I can't detail see people off in the distance. I know it's a person, but I can't see the details of how many folks in line. That's what I'm trying to say. And you have to have a certain depth of field to be able to drive. So I'm still deemed able to drive until further notice. Okay, so I pull in. I see that, oh, there are some people on the street. So I'm getting out the car, and this is what I hate. It feels like everybody pulls up the same exact time you do. Like, you never just pull up and you're the only one trying to head to the line. And you're already trying to speed walk. And I had my nephew in his carrier, his car seat carrier, trying to run basically. And the lady in front of me sends her little son to outrun me and get in line. And another lady that parked closer was running to the line. So I'm already 2 to 3 people back now. I'm like, and you never know how long they're going to take to process each one in. There was another one I approached that was having issues with getting in. Usually first time visitors are going to have problems trying to get in, right? Okay, so they going back and forth with that. There's a holdup with that. And when I first pull into the parking lot, I see a truck just like blocking the roadway. And I'm like, I can't even get around them. So I went all the way down the first aisle, the handicap lane, come around and came around and parked on that lane on the other side of the car. I get out and I notice, oh, okay, this must be officers' cars because it's unmarked, but you can tell when you see inside of it. So I walk up, I'm trying to outrun this 4-year-old to get in line. So he gets there before me, and then his mother comes up a little bit, um, behind me. So I got in line first, but he was already there. So you got to respect the line. And I'm like, what is going on? And they're like, the people out here, with the dogs, and they searching cars. I'm like, and the person was like, If they smell anything, they're popping the car open and searching. I'm like, that don't sound legal to me. That does not. I said, you have to consent. That don't sound right. Y'all, I'm a link in the description box. That's how I was set up at a visitation. Not the same facility, but I will link that in the description box. When I was 40, 3 years ago, for my 40th birthday, I lost my visitations with my husband when I had been visiting him and raised our family through prison visits for 20 years. I was accused of dogs hitting on my car, and I ain't got nothing to do with substances. My car is the last car you're going to tie to substances. But it was actually a retaliation because Marcello had wrote a grievance on a sergeant. And when I came right after it was rejected and give it back to him, rejected, said the sergeant was in the right. I came to visitation and they tried to set me up. I refused the search. They didn't just pop my car open because really I think they was finna set my behind up. God, my phone is about to die. So I'm like, that don't seem too legal. So I gotta do some research on that. But yeah, so they had that going on. It was too much. And then the saddest thing, I'll link another video in the description box. A prison wife. We lost a prison wife this week. Oh my gosh, that situation is crazy. I'm gonna link that video. I can't even talk about it. I won't talk about it because it's still ongoing and it's just a sad overall situation. But what I can tell you, my heart goes out to all the children of all the people that have anything to do with this story. This story is so sad. But this prison wife, now this is crazy. She was I don't know if we had one when we were at Lake, the one that knew everything. Like you could go to her for everything. She was resourceful on so much stuff, like issues going on. Like even now, is that really on the up and up for them to be able to do that to the cars? Like she would have knew. And when new visitors come and they're kind of lost, she was the one to help them out. Um, she was telling them how to get through the processing. If you come and get in line and, oh, you got that on, they ain't finna let you in with that. And I do remember her. She had a clear purse, because now the prison wife's clear purse game is like on point. And she was upset because they made her cut her strap off of her purse. But the next prison wife, they didn't make her cut her strap off. So she was trying to warn them about the strap being on the purse. But that story is so sad. She was at visitation last week, and this week she wasn't there. Yeah. So it was a damper over visitation. And with that, I'm going to stop here because my phone's about to die. But I will talk to you guys later. Thank you for riding with your girl Cadillac. It's your girl Cadillac.